Grey Dog Mountain at Livadia, the first of 8 days of day and night conferences begins. At roundtable discussions ranging over all their mutual problems, the three great leaders agree on every major point. Since Tehran, the United Nations have pushed the Germans back 600 miles in the east and 500 miles in the west. Now, sweeping away doubts that the Allies can cooperate after the war, the Big Three achieve realistic agreement governing the foundations of European peace. Germany will surrender unconditionally, will be permanently disarmed. The Nazi criminals will be punished. Frankly thrashed out are the views of each nation. The Big Three have met. They have met the challenge of a sick and war-torn world. Our meeting here in the Crimea has reaffirmed our common determination to maintain and strengthen in the peace to come that unity of purpose and of action which has made victory possible and certain for the United Nations in this war. We believe that this is a sacred obligation which our governments owe to our peoples and to all the peoples of the world. Winston S. Churchill for Great Britain, Franklin D. Roosevelt for the United States, Joseph Stalin for Russia. Trailing vapor, American bombers come over Ludwigslust in central Germany. The aerial phase of the West Front offensive mounts to full fury in one single day of colossal attack. Its target, the entire Nazi transportation network. Railway lines are blasted. Nuremberg. In this single assault, 7,000 Allied planes, 40,000 airmen rain destruction on Germany. Fighters join the attack, catching Nazi planes on the ground. Back and forth until every plane on the field is destroyed. Lüneburg. From low level, bombs fall on marshalling yards. Striking at almost every important rail junction, this is the greatest Allied air offensive since D-Day.
German border. Driving into the town of Cleve in a swift-paced offensive, Rear's forces capture the northern anchor of the Nazi defense lines in the west. The fierce mopping-up action routs the enemy out. A German observation tower blasted. Overwhelmed in the attack are rounded up at Cleve. Daily, the total of German captives grows. Despite tremendous difficulties, the air arm furnishes strong support. An RAF plane landing in heavy snow skids into a smash-up landing. Widening the general offensive, advanced tank formations of the Canadian First Army push toward Gulf. Decorating one tank's rear is a future chicken dinner. A smoke bomb to conceal a street crossing. Sniper is forced out, and in the big push, new thousands of Germans find relief from useless combat in surrender. Cologne, the historic cathedral town, rail center of Western Germany and fourth largest German city, falls to infantry and armor divisions of Lieutenant General Courtney Hodges' American First Army. Streetcars and rails have been set up as tank obstacles by the German defenders. A house-to-house mop-up begins. A German tank is blasted. The crew runs for its life. Close-range firing and the bombing that went before has left Cologne's ancient cathedral almost unharmed, preserved by a miracle of Allied marksmanship. Cologne's eastern edge lies the River Rhine, last great barrier between the Western Front and Berlin, and Cologne's two great bridges are down, bombed by Allied airmen and wrecked by Nazi demolition. Then 30 miles south at Remagen, we get a bridge. The 1,300-foot Ludendorff Railway Bridge stands intact. 10 minutes before its scheduled demolition, first patrols of the 9th Armored Division race across. Explosive charges are torn out. The bridge is secured. By the thousands, First Army elements head for Remagen. For the first time in more than a century, a hostile army crosses the Rhine. 24 hours, harassed only by rifle and mortar fire, First Army forces cross and get set. The belated German counterattack is beaten off. 30 German planes are shot out of the sky. The bridge's traffic is unhalted.
On the near side of the Rhine, equipment of the 21st Army Group is ready. Ducks, alligators, buffaloes, and big barges are rushed to the area of the crossing. For months on the River Maas in Holland, men of the American and Royal Navies have secretly trained to conduct this operation. Troops of the Canadian 1st, the British 2nd, and the American 9th Armies begin the greatest amphibious operation since the crossing of the Channel on D-Day. Invasion craft carry across the first wave of commandos. First boats gain the eastern bank. In a matter of hours, pontoon bridges are set up by engineers and artillery pours across. Reinforcements for the fast-moving elements steadily expanding the bridgehead. From the eastern bank, the Germans are ferried back across the Rhine to prison. But in the opposite direction come Winston Churchill and Army commanders to put the final seal on Allied conquest of the Rhine. Now crossed in overpowering force from north to south, the Rhine is left behind. 6 vast Allied armies plunge across Germany to win the last great battles in the West.